Wonderful good day, ladies and gentlemen. Commodity TV today here in Zurich, and it's my honor and pleasure now to talk to Eric Edwards, the President and CEO of TriMetals. Eric, welcome and long time no see.
Good to see you again, Jürgen.
Yeah, great to see you again. I think it was almost like 3 years easily when we saw us the last time in London at Mines and Money with a different company. Now you joined TMI. So how did you come on TMI and what's TMI doing?
Well, I mean, firstly, congratulations on your business success in growing what I think is an excellent platform for investors. I joined TMI in January of this year upon the retirement of the previous president, who had been with the company for quite some time. TMI is an excellent little company with several very good properties. Primarily, we're interested in gold mining in the western U.S. We also have a project in Chile in copper that we can talk about a little bit later. And we have a Bolivian arbitration ruling that we expect some results on fairly soon.
Oh,
many people know of TMI. It's a long company. It's been around for a long time. It's a very old company, and we're attempting to focus it more on gold and focus the energy and the capital of the company toward gold exploration in the western U.S.
Great. So let's start with the U.S. Yeah. You are in Nevada, Utah, so what's going on? I think you had some very good drill results last year, right?
Yes, we've been drilling for the last several years, and we've been consistently adding resource. For the past several years, we have almost 600,000 ounces. Nice. The resource is it's in southern Utah and southern Nevada, about 3 hours north of Las Vegas. It is all at surface, outcropping. It's oxide. It's amenable to heap leaching. We've only drilled it to a depth of about 150 meters. It's a historic district. It enjoyed about 80 years of high-grade production history, beginning back in the 1880s up till the 1940s, 1950s. So this is a substantial district that has not seen the same kind of exploration that most of the rest of the Nevada enjoyed 30, 40 years ago.
So lots of room to find some good surprises.
Lots of room. It's not a typical, the reason it still exists and that we are fortunate enough to have it is that it's a volcanic hosted gold, which is quite unique. It's not different, it's different than the typical Carlin type deposits for most of Nevada. However, our nearest comparable is the Round Mountain mine, Kinross's Round Mountain mine, which is a prolific mine, 14 million ounces mined, and still a substantial resource. We have almost an identical geologic, mineralogical, structural setting, both volcanic hosted. So although it's quite unique, it has some very well-known and well-established scientific and geologic history that have generated a lot of gold production for Kinross and others.
Fantastic. So maybe can you comment a little bit? You said 600,000 ounces you have already, yeah? Can you maybe comment a bit on the grade? And I think it's gold and a bit silver also, right?
It is, a bit of silver, yes. So we're looking at this. This is very early in the discovery phase. The grade is 0.6 grams per ton. That's our resource cutoff grade. But more interestingly, we are on to the first known occurrences along more than a 5.5 kilometer stretch of mineralization. We have 3 occurrences, and our resource is all established along the same structural controls. But within that 5.5 kilometer trend, we've only drilled out less than a kilometer. So our plans for this year are to establish more of the structural relationships that control and connect our resources so that we can be prepared for our next drilling program to connect those. We firmly believe that these resources that exist, they're like pearls on a string. We've drilled them. They're the same mineralization character, the same grade, the same structural controls, and we know them to be related. It's just a matter of determining where the structural offsets have occurred as you move along this trend. But when we start discovering and filling in those zones in between, we expect to add significant ounces. And so this is a very interesting geologic puzzle.
Absolutely,
if you will.
great. And you want to do much more work this year, of course.
Absolutely.
So then let's move maybe to your second opportunity, I would call it. And I love it, it's copper, yeah, because copper is really needed in that world. We have already faced deficits this year in the market. So this is in Chile. So what's this property about?
So we've had this property in Chile, the Escalones Copper Project, for a number of years. We've not worked on it for the last 5 years because our focus is shifting toward gold in the western U.S. It's a large land position in the high Andes. It's next to or fairly close to El Teniente, copper production, south of Santiago. It's in an excellent district, a large land position with a lot of upside exploration potential. We've established a copper resource, but we've just begun to mainly do most of the prospecting on the area. We don't believe that as a small company that we have the resources to be able to handle exploration in South America, specifically copper exploration. So we're trying to attract a partner to help us move that project forward. We like the project, we like the country, we like the regime of law, permitting, environmental, it's all excellent. So we'd like to get a partner to help us move that forward, allowing TMI shareholders to still have exposure to exploration success and copper price movements on the upside.
So what work have you done so far on the project?
We've drilled, but it's been a number of years ago. Yeah, there is a substantial resource. I think we have 6 billion pounds of copper identified in the resource, but there are substantial
billions, right?
Billions, yes. There are substantial high-grade skarn that was only penetrated in the last drill hole that presents a very interesting high-grade underground target, which I think is the focus for future exploration. But we'll leave that up to a partner, but we're seeing a lot of interest in that project.
Yeah, honestly, I like that you want to partner on that side of the exploration, I would say it, because it's also sharing costs. Of course, you share the success, but I would say it de-risks the company in the future and gives you even better visibility then, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. You know, even though we're just holding it, it still it's money that we could be spending on gold exploration in the western U.S., in which we're very effective and very well established to capitalize on money spent there.
Fantastic, great. Before we come to Bolivia, because I think this is a little bit of a, I would call it, special situation, which is absolutely not your fault, yeah. But you have inherited, of course, that. But before we come to that, what is the share structure by today, and very important, I would say, also for our viewers and for investors, how much money you have in the bank? Are you financed through this year? And when I looked at your presentation, you have really like the who is who of, I would say, mining funds in the world, the real professional exploration funds are your shareholders. Congrats on that.
Thank you. We have some very supportive long-term shareholders. We're held about 35 or 40% in Swiss shareholders, a similar size in Canada and a similar size in U.S. with some Asian and some East Indian shareholders as well. We just completed a financing in March, April of this year, in which we raised $1.9 million. A lot of that came from existing shareholders who chose to participate even more and increase their stake. So we're very lucky to have good long-term supportive shareholders.
That's great. Fantastic. So that means you are financed through this year, for sure. I mean, exploration always needs money. That's the normal name of the game, I would call it. But it's always important that you have a cushion and that you can fulfill your work progress you want to do this year. Let's come to Bolivia, because I know the property also since the beginning, as I know South American silver from the beginning at that time. And I think it was one of the best exploration properties in the world, actually. So now there is a lawsuit going on, because it was like, I can say that, taken away from the company, I would say, by the Bolivian government. So can you maybe comment a bit on that?
Yes. 5 years ago, the Bolivian government expropriated the project from the company on a series of claims, which there was a lawsuit basically held before the International Court of Arbitration in The Hague. That was completed almost 2 years ago, and we're waiting for the ruling. Typically, rulings come out in 18 to 24 months, so we expect sometime this year to have a ruling. That ruling will establish the facts and will establish an award. So it doesn't necessarily mean that cash is forthcoming, but it will be a significant event in the development of the company. And there are the B shareholders, TMI B shareholders, that will be distributed most of that cash when it does result. So while we don't know exactly, because the court, International Arbitration Court in The Hague, is not very transparent in terms of how their cases are progressing, we do expect, we hope, by the end of the year to have some kind of a ruling.
And that could result that you, let's say, get maybe some money back for that it was taken away, right?
So yes, there is a...
That's the big hope, right?
That's the big hope.
Yeah.
There is an appeal process that's available to both Bolivia and the company. So it may take, after the ruling is received, it may take a period of time, but there will be cash coming in within a period of time after that.
And that would help TMI also for the future, right?
That would.
Fantastic. Well, great, Eric. I would say a very interesting story around it. I think you are working in the right jurisdictions, definitely, because those are old mining, traditional mining counties and countries. So also the infrastructure is there and everything you need. And especially, even more important, I think these days, the right jurisdictional ruling and tax ruling, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that we're focusing the company, trying to get back out of, while these other projects are interesting, the true value is in Western U.S., excellent jurisdiction, a good metallurgy, good permitting and regulatory environment. We're excited to be there in a great project in a historic district with tremendous potential.
Fantastic. Eric, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks,
ladies and gentlemen, it was Eric Edwardsy, President and CEO of TMI Metals. And you heard it, they are working in the US and also in Chile. And there is a third thing going on in Bolivia, which they inherited from the former South American silver company. And we will see how Den Haag is ruling. But even more important, the company has enough money to really fulfill their work program this year. And they're exploring for gold and silver in the US, but also even to me, is it really important that they explore for copper in Chile, because copper is in the deficit already, and we all know for the electric vehicles and for the battery cars, we need a lot of copper for the future. So maybe you should check out the company. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Zurich.